Calling S1E31. We have an emergency.
It's Petra's Occasion podcast. Go.
We need you to watch and review the Martin Scorsese film from 1999, Bringing Out the Dead. It's urgent.
Really, isn't there any other Nicolas Cage based podcast that can do it? There's so many out there. Pretty sure loads of them have done it before. Pretty sure some of them have got us coming up episodes. Do you really need me to do it?
Yes, but the anagram hunter has found that the title of this movie is an anagram for Get a Dude in Brighton.
Fuck, well I guess you can't argue with any of the anagrams that are provided by Thomas_W_Hunter on Twitter. I guess I'm going to have to watch Bringing Out the Dead from 1999 then, guys. Welcome to episode 31 of the Caged In podcast. This week I am joined by Phil of Those Movie Guys. How are you, Phil?
I'm awesome, man. I'm happy to be on your show. I've been listening. I was listening to it today. It was great.
Amazing. I mean, what episode were you listening to, if you don't mind me asking?
The 8mm.
Yeah, that is.
And you're right in the zone of like my favorite Nic Cage movies. So like every week I watch a Nic Cage movie because I listen to your show and I'm like, you know what? I love that movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw that on.
It's definitely like I'm kind of calling it like the golden mile of Nicolas Cage at the moment. Like I think from like 96 to about, I don't know.
That makes sense because at the end of the Green Mile he dies.
Is he? No, he's not in the Green Mile, is he?
No, but at the end of the Green Mile, Michael Clark Duncan dies.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, this is the end. This is like the highlight. He's just going, and then it ends.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think I'm hoping that maybe in the later stages of Nicolas Cage's career, there will be like a rebirth of some kind. Like he will.
I think you said you're like. So this is 31, and you said there was like 70 some Nic Cage movies.
I recently, like maybe 4 days ago, added like 12 more movies that are in like production onto my list. Like
in the last like 8 years, this guy's put out like 4 a year, and they're all high quality.
Yeah,
so you it's gonna suck.
I think this year alone, there's like 6 like gonna come out, or yeah, it's
he's got bills to pay, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's buying all those elephant skulls and dinosaur bones, and
yeah, he's got that weird ass house, or he did. I think he still got it. I think he had to sell that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's like, I don't know, the tax man's his friend at all. Well, let's get on to the matter at hand, which is Bringing Out the Dead, the 1999 Martin Scorsese directed, which I would kind of, it's like a drama, how would you describe this movie?
Drama works. There's nothing else you could probably, it's not a thriller. It's not supernatural, even though it tries to be at points. I'm not sure. That really was Scorsese though?
Yeah, 100%.
Like I tried not to look at anything about it. I just saw, I think he, like in the beginning it was like a Martin Scorsese film, so I don't know if he directed or produced or EP or what.
No, it's Martin Scorsese directed, written by Paul Schrader, who wrote Taxi Driver, and I think has worked with Cage on some later films. I know he directed Dying for the Light, and then he directed Dog Eat Dog. They came out this year with like Willem Dafoe and looks fucking batshit crazy.
I love Dafoe.
Yeah. He's fucking crazy. But this film, like, I just kind of, it skimps a lot on plot. So like plot wise, I don't think there's that much really going on. But like, let's try and break that down for you poor listeners at home who have made it.
Yeah, they kind of just, they throw you in it.
Yeah, it's it kind of opens up with a fucking amazing song, which I had to like look up like as soon as the film ended, which is Van Morrison's TB Sheets. Like it's kind of like gnarly blues track, and you just got like flashes of him at the helm of this ambulance, and like,
well, yeah, but like I brought up that's like the cliche, like just the dragging out the job, like the grind.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
the song you play, like the end of the day after your job, you go and have a drink at the bar, and that's always playing. Like that's just this sets you up for this guy's just struggling with this job.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then you get this like noirish like voiceover, like of him like kind of talking about his like job, don't you? Like the like.
Right.
The grind of it and like how, I don't know, he seems like a plagued guy. He looks like fucking shit, for one.
He looks horrible the whole time.
He does not look like he's slept like in forever. He's partnered up with the great John Goodman as well. Like, I think his partners in the ambulance are fucking amazing. Like...
I think you got to be a little crazy to do that night shift job, especially in New York.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, this film is set in New York. Sorry, I feel like I keep having to drag it back to explaining what I keep getting lost on. Right. Fucking just getting into like I enjoyed this film. I've literally just stepped out of it and jumped into recording, but. I think at the moment there's a lot to digest. I think, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, it's 90. It makes a point of saying it's early 90s New York, and it's just kind of everything looks.
It was high time. It was high time for that shit.
Yeah, it's grimy, it's dirty, like and Frank and John Goodman are called out to a job.
What's that? Larry, I believe.
Larry, that's the one. Yeah, they're called out to a job for a cardiac arrest, and when they get there, they are met by Mary, who is played by Patricia Arquette, whose father has gone into cardiac arrest, and they're trying to resuscitate. And then the voiceover talks about how he's like Cage's character feels like he can see the spirits leaving the bodies of the people.
Well, I think he brings up that he expects to see the spirits, and then looks over the window and there's not one there.
Yeah, I think he forgot for a second that he was shooting Bringing Out the Dead and not City of Angels. I imagine he did so much in those years, and like the effects of all the cocaine he did in like the early 90s, late 80s had warped.
People were paying him money to be in things. He was living the life. That's when he was buying islands and dinosaur eggs and shit.
Yeah, but like he's got a really weird, peculiar way of trying to get the guy to like back to life. He's like, put on his favourite music, put on his jams. Like, I've heard he's a big Busta Rhymes man. Get on Break Your Neck. He wants to fucking boogie out to that shit. This will get him back to life. Obviously, it's not Busta Rhymes. It's Frank Sinatra, because what would any... I don't know...
I think an old dude could definitely listen to Busta Rhymes in New York.
Yeah, I don't. Early 90s though, Buster Bust might not have been busting his thing on the scene quite yet.
Maybe DMX.
And then they get a pulse and they take him to the hospital, which is fucking crazy. Like this hospital,
it's manic.
Yeah, it's just there's people everywhere. There's people like strapped down to beds, and we get introduced to, I think, is he's not in it a lot, but one of my favourite characters is Gris, the like hospital security guard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he wasn't taking no shit. I didn't even know hospitals had security guards.
I guess this place must have, because like it's just littered with junkies and like
he's like, y'all need to calm down.
What the best thing he says is he says, "Don't make me take off my sunglasses." Like
right, and do works the night shift and wears glasses the entire time.
Yeah, he's just one of many peculiar characters we kind of get in this.
Oh, I think I don't know who she would be, like the checking in nurse, but she deals with all the junkies. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you just wanna get out of here. You've come in here with needle marks in your arm. You just want to get out there, get some more needle marks in your arm. What the fuck do you want us to do about it?
Right, like your head's all banged up because you got drunk and bumped your head. And all you're going to do is go out and get drunk and bump your head and come back in here. So why would we help you now?
I like that cutthroat attitude about it. I'm not sure if this film is supposed to be a commentary on the healthcare system in America in the early 90s or what.
But, you know, and I don't want to jump ahead a bunch, but we'll talk about Mr. O later. But she seemed really nice with Mr. O, though.
They probably built up a rapport about the amount of times he had visited the.
But you think that would have been another one that she would have been like, "You're just gonna go get drunk and collapse out somewhere," you know? But she was
definitely
really cool with him. But we'll get to Mr. O.
Oh, definitely. And one character who is kind of significant, who's in this chaos, is a character of Noel, who is just begging anyone who will listen for water, and is just like this kind of street crazy who's just fucked, basically.
That fucking Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
With definitely not a wig.
That hair is something else. It's got some Predator vibes going on. Like,
right, it's like you. Do you have any Rastafarian wigs? We need this to pretend to be this guy.
Yeah, it's like a real, I don't know, some of it looked like it's made out of like bin bags, you know, like trash bags and stuff like that. It looked fucking weird. He had some Mad Max vibes going on, like some real like post-up. It's like his whole outfits throughout the film. It's kind of weird, post-apocalyptic. At one point, he looks like he's wearing tires round him. He's fucking.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He's just like,
I know what scene you're talking about. Yeah, exactly.
He's just some like batshit crazy, and they're like, it's like they said to him, "You like go in the props department, pick out anything. I'm sure it'll make you look like, fucking crazy."
Yeah, there was a vest he wore that looked like very steampunk.
Yeah.
Like just tubes going all over and shit. How do junkies get such cool shit?
I don't know, man. It was the early 90s.
Steal it. I think they steal it.
But yeah, he ends up breaking out and then like gets his water and he's out of there. And then it just goes back to Frank and Larry just cruising the streets of New York. And we see it as this disgusting crime everywhere. It's like fucking blowjobs in the alley, people fucking smoking crack openly, prostitutes littering the streets. And this is the first time we see like a vision that Frank has of like he looks at a pregnant prostitute and then all of a sudden her face changes to that of well, you don't really know who. It's like this kind of Latino young girl's face, like just
where he's like the flashbacks of her.
Yeah. But he's seeing her face on just like the people in the streets, and he's fucked, and like kind of I think he talks to Larry about what happened, about this, like says, I'm plagued by Rose's ghost, like she just kind of, I don't know, haunts me. And I don't.
Is this where he's driving, or is where Larry takes over driving, which he hates?
Yeah, I think it's when Larry's driving. No, it's when he's driving, because Larry hates it.
There's the CB, the radio call where they're ignoring it.
Yeah. Well, Larry's like, I just want to fucking get something to eat.
And then he can't get beef lo mein because he had that last night.
Yeah. But then we get this amazing like monologue of like the hot, like kind of like, I think it's another voiceover of just like the horrors of the job, and it's like really like beautiful and poetic, like him explaining like how this kind of,
you know, and it didn't hit home, but it really made sense to me. Like in that world, he became more of like the grief counselor than the savior. Yeah. He was just to be there while they died.
Yeah, and it's like it feels like this one like incident though with Rose has just like, it's really got to him. Like it's kind of, as you said, you're thrown into the middle of it, and this is just one of maybe 3 nights we see him on the job, and like he's just riddled with this guilt, which you don't really know what at this point what the fuck like happened or what is going on. But then
you're thrown in the mix. But what really it caught me like it was. Do you remember watching The Machinist with Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Where he was like an insomniac. So there, and I think that goes a lot with people that work night shift, where they start just their cycles are reversed. They're really just odd about sleeping. They tend not to sleep at all. Or very little, and you start seeing that, and this is where you start seeing things and seeing, acting really chaotic.
Well, yeah, like, there's a lot of this, like, I kind of didn't know whether it was the actual events of the film, or, like, it's his kind of, his mania and his, like, hallucinations kind of acting out in this kind of crazy way, and, like, maybe... I don't know, some kind of hyperbole in his mind of what is actually going on around him, because it's...
Yeah, and I that's where I'm with at, is it's more all in his head. He's just kind of going a little down that path.
Yeah, like elements of this definitely reminded me of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like some of the shots and just some of the mania. Like, I'll talk about a very specific scene when we get to it. But at this moment is when they decide they want to ignore the call, because they know who the fuck it's gonna be. It's the 4th time this week that it's gonna be Mr. O.
And Mr. O is the best. I think Larry killed it with that whole scene. I mean, it was he knew he didn't want to go there. He went there and he was just an asshole the entire time.
Yeah, Mr. O is just like, I feel, I'm drinking right now, and like I just think like, just
Aren't
looking at that guy. Oh yeah, definitely. But like, he just makes me. He made me feel dirty. Like I kind of. This is one of those.
Like you're gonna be in a wheelchair calling the hospital every 2 days.
Well, no, it's just their reactions, like, especially Larry's. Like, the guy stinks. Like even though he's in the back of the ambulance, Larry's like, as they drive
out the window,
yeah,
like a dog out the window. And so is Nic Cage though.
Yeah. They're both.
But he's making fun of Larry about it.
Well, yeah, and then they get to they take him in, and they're like, we don't want that motherfucker. Like, Gris is like, I ain't having that motherfucker in here again. Get him outside, and.
Not tonight, not this day.
Yeah, Frank just takes him outside and kind of puts him up against the wall, and it's like, someone will come to you when they're ready. Don't worry about it, Mr. O. We'll get to you eventually, you stinky fuck.
But Larry's pushing him the whole time, like that, just like half throwing up the entire time.
Yeah, and this is the first time. Well, like. For another interaction between Mary and Frank, where they just kind of having a conversation whilst like he's having a smoke, and she's like, I don't know, like they're building up this relationship of like he's brought in her dad. We're just checking in, seeing what's happening. Is the dad doing okay? I've written in my notes. The dad's probably dead at this point.
Well, I think when they first brought him in, the doctor's like, the fucker, he's done.
Yeah. The doc, like, everyone in this hospital is so cutthroat. They're like the guy is like, that nobody, he's like, put him in the back of the line. Like, don't need him. Like
why help the dude? Like, why commit resources to this guy? He's fucking dead. Come on. We got shit to do. And even, Larry says it on the way in. He's like, some motherfucker's going to die because we're taking care of Mr. O.
Yeah. And one of the best things as well is when Mr. Burke, his name is brought into the hospital first of all. Like, he's like, didn't I pronounce this guy dead over the phone? What the fuck is he doing here now? Like,
right.
And
yeah, like I think in the U.S. they have to. Usually, you don't get pronounced dead unless you're in the hospital. Like, they got to keep pumping on you. until you get there.
Yeah, well, this hospital, I don't know if it's this, like, it's got the nickname Misery, and just seems like the fucking, like, death's
The
door,
bottom of the
just
barrel.
like, yeah, definitely. Like
homeboy that did all the ER, the head of the ER, he was probably making like $7 an hour. Like, it was like, we got the guy that flunked out of med school running this whole thing. Like, he's got some medical knowledge, but not enough.
Well, I think
It's enough to keep.
I think
It's enough to take care of drug dealers.
Yeah, I think it's mentioned at one point when he says, like, someone talks about him, and it's like, well, the guy's working like doubles, like he's on like no sleep.
Oh, he kept touching his eye.
Yeah. Which, like, well, yeah, it's probably because he's fucking tired. Like, he's been working 27 hours. Like, what do you expect?
I think a shift in a hospital is like 14 hours. So a double is a long time.
Yeah, fuck that.
I want that guy diagnosing me.
Then we get like Frank talking about like the worst time of the night is between 5 and 6, because it is just when you think that the shit is done. You think it's done, and
well, right before daylight's always the witching hour, man. I've been awake that long, and there's some crazy shit that happens. If you've been awake all night, right before sunrise, there's always something fucking wild that happens.
Oh, definitely. And he says, like, it is between those hours that he found Rose. And, like, I think that's what's made the lasting impression on him, that those hours particularly are so... I don't know. I think...
Yeah. I'm sure you stayed awake all night, but, man, I've never had a good experience.
Oh, no.
In the morning.
No, never. No. It's,
even though I thought the party couldn't stop and everybody's like, we're going to go all night. It never. Once daylight hit, it got weird. Like, nobody was happy anymore. Everybody was, like, sobering up, actually. They got so drunk, they sobered.
Yeah, and then it's like, all that you're left with is just the bitter taste of regret and, like...
Right.
Mistakes. Like, God.
Right.
Like,
yeah, all night long. So they have to live in he's got to be a paramedic in this city where these people do this every single night, though.
Yeah, well, it is the city that never fucking sleeps, and it is definitely shown that way in this movie.
They go check out the prostitutes sometimes.
Yeah, they just kind of cruise. Like a lot of it just seems like, what do? Maybe 3 jobs a night? They kind of, I don't, like, not that I'm saying what they do is easy work, but I'm saying, like, comparative, well, no, not
I
comparative.
didn't know. I just assumed the motherfuckers were just like firefighters sitting in a room and like, we need an ambulance, go. Like, they're just cruising the streets like cabbies, waiting for the call. I didn't know that, but maybe that's true.
I wish there was, maybe there's some deleted scenes of this. I wish there was like some scenes of them, like, I don't know, having to fill up for gas. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of, I don't know, like, some real mundane shit.
Mundane stuff, yeah. We gotta kick the tires, make sure there's air in them, there's nothing going on, no calls, I mean, there's a scene where it shows when they go park like on a pier and take a nap. Larry takes a nap.
Yeah, like lucky motherfucker. And that is the exact moment that we're at in the thingy, and like Frank says how he kind of like wishes he could sleep like Larry is, and that he kind of has waking nightmares, and we get the impression that he drinks a lot at this point. He's like, I fucking love a good old drink.
I think Larry said that earlier. He was talking about eating food, and he can't have beef lo mein again because he had it last night. And Larry's like, well, I don't eat. What are you going to eat? He's like, I don't eat. I'm not hungry. He's like, he can't live off of beer and whiskey.
Well, he's got a straight diet in this film of like alcohol, cigarettes, and coffee. And maybe one slice of pizza. That is the extent of Frank's diet throughout this whole movie.
Well, I do agree with that lifestyle, but I switched from coffee to tea recently.
Oh, hello, sir.
Yeah, I changed it up. I was feeling coffee just too much of it. So
No,
I
nice.
switched to tea.
Very nice.
Maybe that'll gain some followers in the UK.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we love a bloody cup of tea here, mate. Then they the night. Yeah, it kind of talks about how the night never ends, like, because fucking they get called out again, just like, Larry, you ain't fucking napping, pal. Some shit is going down, and they turn up to fucking Noel covered in blood.
Noel again.
Glass.
They said something that was like a attempted suicide, but that's all they know.
Yeah, and he's got a
Noel's
glass.
like, just push it in me, kill me. It wasn't really a suicide, I guess.
No,
Was it?
No. He's just got a glass bottle up against, like, up to his throat, and like they kind of say, he's like, fucking someone do it, and he's just like, one of the weirdest negotiation scenes, because like Frank,
I can't do it here in front of the public, but I can do it at the hospital. We have a room for what did he say, terminations.
yeah, and he's like, oh, we got all types of instruments to like take you out. And how do you want to go? You want the gas? You want the pills? You want the injection? We got it all. Like, take your pick.
This dude's a fucking maniac, so he's like, well, yeah, that's what all I want is somebody to kill me. So that sounds sweet.
Yeah, I'll take the pills. Like, let me come in. But their lovely operation is interrupted by Frank's old partner, Tommy, played
Tom Sizemore.
What a fucking crazy motherfucker this guy is.
I told him next time I see him, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
He is a sadistic fuck. Like, he just kicks Noel a few times. He's like, I'm gonna fucking get him. He kind of tells this story of like, apparently Noel had 2 priests held up with a screwdriver. And yeah, next time I see him, I'm gonna fuck him up. But then, like, again, they bundle Noel in the back, and then they are called out to another emergency, and this time it is a shooting, and one of the guys who's been shot is played by Michael B. Williams. Is that Omar from The Wire?
Omar for The Wire. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name, but I was like, that's Omar.
Yeah, really early role.
Yeah, fucking loved Omar from The Wire, dude. He was one of the best.
Yeah.
And I think he was Chalky Black from Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, and have you seen The Night Of? The
Night Of?
Yeah, the HBO like miniseries.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's fucking great.
I think he is a great actor, though.
Oh yeah, he's
and this is such a minimal role, but dude, they back then they were like, man, we got something here with this guy.
Yeah,
he's a great actor.
He died amazingly well in this film. Sorry to spoil that for you guys, but he dies on arrival to the hospital, DOA, and Noel just decides at this point, fuck it, I'm out of here. Just kind of runs off into.
I don't think you have to say spoil when you label the episode what the fuck you're talking about.
I know that, but like I meant like I kind of like just jumped to the fact he dies, not that like they like.
He wasn't in there very long though.
Yeah. Not that they have like a moment or anything like that. I'm like, fuck it, like they just jumped into he dies. Like no like nuances of like they kind of have this tender, sweet moment in the back of the ambulance, he.
Well, he even said there was. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't even roll back to it because while he was dying, his hand fell over with the Red Death or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And some cats snag it, but they never expanded upon that. I thought they would have, like, where did that go? Or the police are like, who is this guy? And nothing. He just was like, I don't want to die. I'm going to go into the army and hold my hand. And Nic Cage is like, don't touch me.
Well, I think this film is quite like 8mm in the way that it's quite existential and that like it's bad shit happens, and like there isn't a lot of like
There's no reason.
there's no reason, and there's no like unfortunately
I'm sure there. In the long run, there is a reason, but
there's no justice.
can't-
Yeah, there
you
might
can't-
not be justice for stuff. Stuff like bad shit happens, and
bad shit happens and bad people get away.
yeah, like that's it. Like I think, and it was establishing that the Red Death is like, I don't know, it's going to be a running theme through this film, but not maybe, I don't know, not really a major plot point. I wouldn't say. I would say this, like, as I said, it skimps on plot, but it's kind of more of like a tone, like it's a tone poem, as it were. Like, it's more about,
I can handle that though.
yeah, it's more about like creating a mood and an atmosphere, and it kind of feels like Martin Scorsese flexing his like surrealist muscle, like in a way.
Well, back then, I mean, if he was hot, he's like, I'm going to bring in a little Nic Cage. He seems like a big deal right now.
Well, yeah,
He's the new De Niro.
but it's kind of it's very different to a lot of like Scorsese films in that like it's a
His are more crime related.
crime related, and like just even the way that like they're shot, they're a bit more like straight. Do you know what I mean? Like they're normally like, this is a bit more like some real wacky shit's going down. Like I don't know, some of the shots in this of like
There's always a spin to it for Scorsese.
yeah, and like in this, like I found like it felt very like heavily saturated. Like the light in it in scenes like seemed super bright. It almost seemed like the characters themselves like had like a glow around them. Did you get that, or did I get a bum DVD?
Well, I just typed in the details of this into Google, and I watched the first thing that came up.
Oh, cool.
So, it could have been a sweet Blu-ray version. I have no clue, but I got what I got.
Nice. Yeah. So we then go to Frank goes to see his boss, and like he just wants out of this job, and he's like, his boss is like, come on man, you've been sick like so many times this month, you've been late 9 times, I've told you about this shit, you can't do this anymore. And he's like, please just fire me, like you said, if I was late again you would fire me, please just do it now, do it quick. And
his boss is like, no, nobody tells me like who I can fire, when I can fire him. And he's like, no, you said if I showed up late again, you'd fire me. Like, damn it.
And one of the weirdest things that his boss does is he like barks like a dog.
Yeah, that was, I don't know where that was coming from. I get like he, right after the barking, he did like and I told him to shove it up their ass. I get that, but like, yeah, the barking, like he's a junkyard dog.
Yeah, it's like, it's just touches like that just made me like in this film like, okay, I don't know what, like it felt more. It kind of, I can imagine this film being directed by David Lynch. Like if David Lynch done it,
He's
I would
unhinged.
totally get it. Yeah. All these kind of weird, kooky side characters. Then we get to my favourite of Frank's partners, who is Marcus, played by Ving Rhames, who is...
God, that was so much fun.
What a
It's
guy.
probably the funnest of the whole movie.
Yeah, he's such a fucking cool guy, and I like... He's just a seasoned pro. Like, he has been at this 4 years, and he's just like, he's doing this shit, and he's just like, I don't know, he's always got a cigar in his mouth, like
Not even lit, just there. Like he's just that. He's a caricature of something.
yeah,
you know?
well, he's just sucking on it, he's just getting them flavors, he's like, but he's he is great, and they get called out to a heroin overdose, which brings me.
You forgot to bring up that's Ving Rhames, the great Ving Rhames, who was with Nic Cage in what movie? Petros.
Con Air, of course. Yeah. Playing what is it? Diamond Dog. Yeah, of course.
Diamond Dog.
Oh, fucking legend. And then on this call for the heroin overdose, the guy who has overdosed has possibly the best name ever. I think ever. Yeah, I think the best name ever. Do you remember the name, Phil? Would you like to tell the lovely people at home what that name is?
His name is I Be Bangin'.
I Be Bangin'. Real name is was it like Frederick, yeah. Frederick Jones or something like that. Not Freddie, Frederick, but it's I Be
Bangin'.
And then
but I like the way they played it though. There's like the subtle thumbs up, and then he's just like Ving Rhames goes into this whole Marcus, his character, goes into this whole like Baptist preacher scene. Everybody hold hands. We need to bring him back now. We need to do this for I Be Bangin'. It just goes wild.
It is fucking great. I will probably drop like a clip of that or try and source that clip and put it on Twitter or something.
I loved that because he made all these junkies at this club hold hands, and they were all looking up, and they were feeling the power of the Lord.
And it is the fact that it kind of broke the tension in this kind of like really fucking like grimy tale of like these
that's why I said it was like one of the funniest part of the movie was kind of gave some light to it.
Yeah, definitely. And like kind of like I think that was intentional in the fact that Ving Rhames' character is, as like we've established, is very like religious and I don't know, he's like kind of a very optimistic guy and like loves the job that he does.
Well, and yeah, I think there was a scene afterwards where Nic Cage was talking. They're talking about some story about some suicide where Marcus survived, and what's Nic Cage's name in this? Frank was like, well, yeah, there's a story from Ireland where a woman jumped off a cliff and then it got blown back on. He's like, by the wind? He's like, that was Jesus. He's like, or the wind. He's like, you don't tell me about the good book. That was Jesus.
And then they just kind of, they're like shooting the shit, like, and then they turn back up to the hospital to see what is going on with Mr. Burke and Mary. They have a little chat. They have a nice little bit of pizza. This is one of the first times we see Frank actually have something to eat. And there's a really, like, I remember that, like, they kind of sit down and have a chat, and there's a really weird, like, there's, like, 3 angles on Patricia Arquette. Like, she asks him a question or something, and it just really stuck out to me. Like,
it seemed like they were trying to go art house with the filming.
Yeah. Do you know the moment I'm talking about? Like,
exactly. Yeah. It was a cut on her, a cut on him, a cut on her from a different angle, a cut back on him, then a cut on her from a totally different angle. It was really strange.
Yeah, and it's just kind of, I don't know.
That's what I was saying. It feels like it was art house. Like they were trying something new and but not trying to do the whole movie that way. Just seeing the reaction they might get from this. Maybe they'll try it again. Maybe they won't.
It just really stuck out as like this is really fucking odd and unnecessary.
Out of place.
Yeah. Like, this does not need to be here. They kind of, like, I don't know, like, they're just kind of establishing, like, their relationship. They're not really, like, I don't really feel like their conversations really, like, push anything along. There's no, like, I kind of like the fact that it's not, like, exposition heavy or anything like that. There's no, like, oh, this is like, because there is no real plot to this film. Is that fair to say? Like,
I don't think there is. I think it's just like a storytelling of what was happening currently. Like,
yeah. It's a snapshot. It's a snapshot in the life of this
this
unfortunate fellow. And then like their like conversation is rudely interrupted because they've got to get back out to it, and we get another pearl of wisdom from Marcus where he lays down the rules. He's got 2 simple rules: you don't go fucking with patients, and you don't go fucking with the daughters of patients. And I think Frank says like, you don't go fucking with
the radio girl or whatever.
Yeah. The like the
He's you don't fuck with rule number 3. You don't even know anything about rule number 3.
And then they just cruise the streets looking at prostitutes, which I don't know. Like
which again was a little comedic timing, because he was bitching about how they don't clothe themselves right anymore. They're wearing, you can't tell that they're hookers anymore. They just walk out of the house with what they're wearing. Some chick's wearing a hoodie, and he's like, you don't even know what's under there. It could be a skeleton.
And Marcus, I don't know, Frank sees the face of Rose again on the hooded lady. He's having these weird visions, and like he gets pretty dark for a second where he's like, he kind of like answers out to something, and Marcus says to him like, the voice is talking to you again. He's like, yeah, the voices told me to kill Marcus. And he's like, don't go playing with that shit. They then get called out on another job, which is said to be a cardiac arrest, to which Frank says, why can't it be anything else? Why is it always a cardiac arrest?
Why isn't it a chest pain or anything like that? It's just always cardiac arrest.
Why is it not just like, why is everyone having a fucking heart attack? Let's just cool it out a bit, guys, like with the heart attacks. And when they get there, it is immaculate conception, so we are said to believe. I feel like a poor gentleman has been lied to.
She was a whore. But they give you a good shot of the gine, though.
Yeah,
with like some baby legs coming out.
3 of them. Which I thought this film was taking a turn for like this, like all of a sudden it's taking a 90-degree turn and going sci-fi.
Well, Marcus was like, there's too many legs.
And it turns out that she is having twins, and they rush her out, and the babies are born at the bottom of this kind of derelict building. And then this film kind of like, this was a moment I kind of took a real deep breath, because one of the babies is fine and one of the babies is rushed into hospital, expected dead. And something about this,
and Nic Cage is doing like the breathing, the CPR on the baby, where he's like holds like a finger or 2 up to the chest. He's puffing in the mouth, running that baby in, which I think in tinfoil into the hospital.
Yeah. It's like some type of I think it's like a heat blanket or something. But it's something about that scene. It's something about seeing like CPR on a baby that just like, I think intentionally, like rightfully so, made me feel uncomfortable. Like just the thought of like, do you know what I mean? Like seeing,
it's rough. It's rough. I mean, it's a newborn baby. That's horrible.
Yeah, and like
nobody wants to see that, especially because Ving Rhames was so hot on the one baby being born. He's like, I got a baby boy over here. And, he's so happy about it. Like, look at what we did today.
Yeah, and like it's just kind of, I think like this, it really brought it down in a good way. Like just kind of like I think that's what's so good about this like storytelling, is that like obviously you have Ving Rhames' character, it's like quite light-hearted and optimistic, and then we come crashing down with this just horrific event that I wish upon nobody. And then they go back out to it and they're like, well, at least we saved one life tonight with the other baby. Let's have a drink. And all they have to hand is a nice bit of gin, nice little sippy sip. And then I was not expecting the next scene. Do you know what happens? Do you remember what happens next, Phil?
Oh yeah, they crash.
Yeah, which I did not fucking see coming at all. Like, I was like, this was a moment I was like, is this in Frank's head? Because this does not seem real at all in the slightest. And they just crawl out of the ambulance fine. They're unscathed.
Yeah, and he just takes the fuck. Well, I think there's a scene. Wasn't he? He wasn't with Marcus anymore. He was with Tom or Joe again, right?
No. He was with Marcus drinking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were, because that was after the baby was born. It was a celebration, so they started pounding booze, and then he just gets out of the car and runs away. Like,
Yeah,
he quit.
I'm out of here. That's it. I am fucking out of here.
Yeah, because they crash. They crash, and Marcus is like, "Thank you, Jesus." Oh, and just happy, and he's just like, "I'm outie. I'm running." He's gone.
Well, he says,
and yeah,
he says, "I quit," and then Marcus says to him, "The ghosts won't quit you. You can run away from this job, but you can't escape the demons." Then the next day, Frank goes back to the hospital to kind of check in on Mary, see what she's up to, and she has cut Noel loose because he's back in the hospital. He's tied up. He's freaking out. She's like, I just wanted to let him go, and she's like, "I'm going to see a friend. Will you come with me?" And the friend she's going to see, because Frank busts in and kind of sees this place, is a weird crack den, which is known as the Oasis, run by a guy called what's his name? Cotus.
but I like that dude. I like that dude as an actor.
Yeah. But like, real weird dude, like cornrows, this kind of weird crack den he's got going on. And Mary's in there. She's taken some type of pill, and she's just crashed out in a back room. Frank wants to get her out of there, and then like,
I forget who this guy is. Because sometimes he plays like Indian guys, and other times he plays like Hispanic guys.
Well, yeah, I think he's kind of got the same thing as like Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's Greek, but seems to just play like Middle Eastern guys for some reason. Just got that weird look about him. Like, I guess they're blessed.
Well, yeah, there's also another guy that I think he's Egyptian who ends up playing the guy that was in Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
He ends up playing, like, because he's got dark complexion, all sorts of characters, Middle Eastern, Mexican, all of it. If you got dark skin, you're in. I guess if you're a white dude, then you can play all the roles.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll just whitewash a film and put you in it anyway. It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, dude's name is Cliff Curtis.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's a white guy's name.
But he's running this kind of weird haven for like drug users, and convinces Frank to take a pill, which brings upon this kind of David Lynch style dream sequence, which is fucking crazy.
It was a hallucination dream sequence that I think didn't really do anything.
No, if anything, it only kind of gave you like, it gave you an excuse to show what happened with Rose, or I'm not sure if it did. Like,
right, a little flashback scene.
Yeah, but like the way that was shot was brilliant, because everything looked like it was backwards but forwards at the same time. Like the way they were walking and stuff like that, the way she was walking down the street, and even like,
I thought she was just crip walking.
No, because even when like Frank and Larry are like kind of moving, like everything looked like, it looked really.
It was filmed in reverse and played the other way.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Like, I'm not sure. Yeah, but like they were moving full. Like, yeah, it must have been they were. I don't know how they would have worked it out, but it just looked off and unsettling, and like moments before that you kind of sit.
I know that's used a lot, where they'll film something in reverse and then play it the other way to make it seem awkward on how they approach.
Well, yeah, that's what kind of reminded me of it being like David Lynch, like, because like Twin Peaks, that's all over that. If you've ever seen clips,
I haven't watched any of it.
There's like famous clips,
which is amazing because I watch so much shit and I haven't watched any Twin Peaks.
I am disappointed in you, Phil.
I'm holding out because I guess everybody else watches it, so I gotta be stubborn to one thing. I watch everything on the CW though, so keep that in mind.
Nice. Yeah, but we kind of see Rose's death, and kind of see that maybe Frank could have done better at saving her. Like he kind of can't seem to get the tube right in her throat, and Larry's giving him a hard time, like, you're not doing it right, you got the stomach again. I'm not really sure what he means.
You know what I thought about that? The first time he slid that in the Burke, is it Burke, the old man? First time he slid that in his throat, I was like, how do they even know what hole it's going down?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's got to be really difficult to get it out down the right hole. I was getting a phone call because I'm a very, very popular guy.
And a bad podcast guest.
Should have turned that on silent. I'm kind of a big deal. It's probably 100 other podcasters calling me to ask if I can sub in. Do something.
Yeah, I'm sure that, or the debt collectors asking, "Where's the money, Phil? Where's the money?"
Well, you know what bill always gets paid first? The internet bill.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
The first one. Fuck that rent. Fuck that heat. That internet get paid. I can do a lot of things if I got internet.
Put that blanket on. There's no heat this month. We're just having it
I can
there.
handle it.
Put another jumper on, and then he wakes up screaming, as I probably would if I'd had this weird, freakish dream. He had just.
I wrote it down as his Neanderthal scene, because he goes screaming and just runs in the other room, picks her up, throws him over the shoulder, and walks out the house. And I don't know if you ever read Valley of the Horses or anything like that, but you remember Clan of the Cave Bear? Any of those books or movies? There was one movie with I think Bo Jackson was in there.
Yeah.
They're Neanderthals.
Yeah, classic.
Like, I grab woman, I'm out of here. And just walks away. Like, he turned into a Neanderthal. He was screaming, found a lady, calmed down a little bit, but he's exiting.
Yeah. He's born again out of the primordial ooze. Right. And then takes her back to her apartment and looks like, I felt jealous because he looks like he has the best night's sleep ever. I'm not sure.
Oh, but she looks over, he's just sleeping on that
couch?
couch?
Like, oh man, like,
fuck yeah, dude.
Like,
he looked good.
He looked real.
I don't sleep, so I envy people.
Yeah, well, like, something about that, I'm like, oh man, like, really want that to happen. Like, maybe like, I don't know, I know loads of like big podcasts are sponsored by like mattress companies, like,
oh shit!
Any of you guys,
like the sleep number beds and stuff.
Casper mattresses, Lisa mattresses. If
Right.
you're listening, yes, please. I want to sleep like Nicolas Cage does in this movie.
I will talk about you for probably 30 minutes if that's what if that's what it takes.
Oh, fuck the Caged In podcast. I will be the official Casper Mattresses podcast if I get a mattress to sleep on. If I'm going,
I turned on this Nicolas Cage movie and I fell asleep immediately and didn't wake up for 8 solid hours.
Yeah.
And had the best sleep of my night.
The movie.
Or my life.
The movie. Who gives a fuck? I slept like a baby.
Nah, that'd be great, dude.
He wakes up.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm not a sleeper though. So I saw him and they were talking when they walked in, and she looks over and she's like, "No." I'm like, to lay down that quickly and fall asleep, it's been years.
Yeah,
it's been fucking years.
Yeah, definitely. But like, he wakes up in the morning and is kind of like does this weird, really weird ritual of like, he's like, I washed with 3 different types of soap It was nice to be in the company of a lady once again. And it's like, this is some real creepy, pervy motherfucking stuff going on right now. Like, I don't know what you're going on about. Like, is he going to wear her skin as his skin? Because it seems real weird.
It's a very Buffalo Bill-esque thing going on right now.
Yeah, but then, like, obviously we are under the impression that he has quit his job, and then it comes up, it flashes on the screen and says Saturday, and he is back in the boss's office, and he's like,
try to get fired again.
yeah, like, oh.
Which I thought he quit. Why'd he even go in?
Well, I think it's that thing that, like, you can't quit, you can't get fired, like, you're in, do you know what I mean?
Blood in, blood out.
Yeah, he's just like, he can't, like, and obviously I guess he feels duty bound to the people of New York City to keep them alive. And
well, I honestly, I mean, after the movie progresses along enough, I believe he really means well. He wants to help people. He's just tired of helping people that are dying.
Well, definitely, yeah, and kind
Where
of
it always seems like it's a drug addict. It's, you know, he's never saving, like, there's never an accident where you have to try to save an innocent child or an innocent person. It's always like, you need to go here because this person OD'd. You need to go here because this person's drunk and is unconscious.
Well,
it's
yeah. Well, I think that's what
I feel the struggle with him.
Well, I think I think that's why Rose has made such a lasting impression on him, because she was like a 14-year-old girl who, like, from the flashback seems like innocent. Like, she's not another one of these, like, as you said, she's not a drug addict.
Yeah, for the flashbacks, it looks like it was a passerby. Nobody called it in. He saw that, stopped and ran out to help her.
Yeah.
And couldn't. You know, so even if it was a drug thing, it was something that he caught, he took, he wanted to do all on his own. Like, I am the paramedic. I am the guy who can help you. And he got, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you don't say got fucked because, I mean, shit happens, man. You're not always there at the right time. You can't always win those battles.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I'm sure is hard for paramedics to think that you should be able to save them all the time. All your training, I can save them, but in the end, not everybody can be saved.
Yeah, I guess his thing is, obviously, like, he feels like she was one that deserved to be saved, as opposed to others maybe not so much. Do you know what I mean? Like, these people who are in, like, ODing every other week are, like,
I be banging.
Yeah, I be banging. Like, as like the nurse says at the hospital, like, oh, what, you just want to get out back onto the streets and pump some more drugs into your veins.
So, and you can do those drugs again.
You'll be back in again. And it's like, this young girl, like, I don't know, yeah, like,
it was his find. It was his, you know, it was more close to him.
Yeah, definitely. But then this third and final night we see on the job, his partner
was the best yet.
Is Tommy. Oh, my boy. Oh,
Tom Sizemore doing it. He is so gun fucking ho.
I kind of looked at Tom Sizemore and thought, like, why has nobody cast, like, Jonah Hill as Tom Sizemore's son in a film? I think it would work perfectly well. They've kind of both can do that, like, obnoxious, like, arrogant thing, and they look alike. You could definitely.
I don't think Tom Sizemore is acting.
Tom Sizemore is still acting. He was in.
No, that is who he is.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Him as a person, he is a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, but like
that,
it seems to be that, like, his character rubs off on, like, Frank, because
well, yeah, you get a little worked up. I think there's a little scene in there where he goes in the back and he's talking about how he needs to, like, he's like stabbing these needles around. He needs this concoction of things, and then comes up with, like, this IV bag and, like, a mask on him.
Yeah,
and Tommy really isn't even phased other than like, yeah,
we
got it. We're doing it.
You do your thing. And then there's,
but not even like, hey, you're a drug fucking addict. What are you doing?
but like,
he's just like, cool.
The shots like in this bit are amazing. Like they're kind of sped up.
Oh, they're fast.
Yeah, real
they're very
quick.
fast.
And like, it was this kind of sequence that reminded me of like Fear and Loathing, like them kind of like zipping about, like a lot of like the fluorescent haze of the whole thing, of like just the lights.
Well,
of
it
the
was
city.
also it was a full moon, right? So always full moons bring about anarchy
crazy
somehow.
Yeah. The
It
crazy
just
comes
happens.
out.
So like they're all prepping for it. Like it's gonna be a crazy night because it's a full moon.
Yeah, and it's like Larry's called in sick. He knows what the score is. Like
Larry's out. Larry's dunsies with this shit.
And then they get called out to a suicide, which is like kind of these bums in the middle of this derelict building, and they kind of pull this guy to one side. Tommy's.
Yeah. You know, it gave me some enlightenment to it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts first before I bring up mine.
No, you go first, man. You go first on this scene. This scene is great.
Well, mine is maybe badgering works. You just make fun of somebody until they're like, no.
Yeah. This guy, yeah. What Phil is talking about is this guy is talking about like killing himself, and they take him into the ambulance and they kind of mock him. Like Tommy's like, put this thing on your head. If it goes green, go see a doctor. It's real bad.
Yeah, it was I think a sticky pad of where they connect an electric or heart monitor.
Yeah. And then
but he stuck it to his head. Was like, you need to wear this for 24 hours, and if you got to look in the mirror constantly. And if it turns green, you know you're doing bad. So you need to keep it, or you're gonna die. But it was kind of like, and I hate to make fun of suicide because suicide is a horrible thing. People are plagued with depression and do that shit. But there is also those people that are just doing it just cause.
Oh yeah,
they don't actually feel it. And this is one of those scenarios where it's just a dude that doesn't actually really want to do it. He's just like, oh, I'm killing myself. Look at me.
Well,
people, look over here.
Well, as well, like Frank comes in and just goes hard because he's like, if you want to fucking
just
do it,
nuts.
Here's a knife. Here's how you do it. You've been cutting
pretty
the wrong
much
way.
like, here's a gun.
Yeah, here's the vein. Here's the vein you want to hit. Go down. Don't go across, you pussy motherfucker. Here's the knife.
Yeah, you
do it.
You feel right here where your pulse is. That's where you want to cut, not up here.
Yeah.
You dummy.
And this guy kind of.
And then the guy's like, oh no.
I just fucking like runs out of there like. Poor little like naked little guy in a loincloth, like
So it was a horrible thing to do to a person, but did they save his life in that scenario? I believe yes.
Definitely. There is actually a sequel to this starring that exact same guy. That is The Wolf of Wall Street.
Really?
He turned his life around. He turned into Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort.
Tried to kill himself in a crack house, and now he was fine. No, I'm obviously joking. It would be.
That would be a really good turnaround.
Yeah, definitely.
He was a 100 millionaire, then lost all that.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And then they get a call out to the Oasis, and shit has gone down. Turn up to the front door. The one of the ladies who frequents there has been shot. The fish tank has been smashed, and there's water all over the floor. And we see that Cy is impaled on a railing, which looks fucking brutal.
It looks manageable.
Yeah, but like, and then it turns out that like. His like sidekick, this guy called Tiger, had jumped down off a balcony. Like, managed to like smash through a window and is out cold. But you get this kind of weird like moment with.
I was waiting to see Mary though the whole time. I walked into this movie just like you. I had not known anything about it, so this is my first time watching it. I was like, "Don't be Mary." No, Cage can't take anymore. He's already at the point.
Luckily, it wasn't. Mary was not there, but like, there's that weird like moment of the conversation he has with Sai whilst like they're cutting him.
He's just like, he's riling around like
he's like
wiggling on this spike,
and he's holding his head, and they're kind of having like, for someone who is like impaled, a really level-headed, like, the conversation is flowing, like, better than, like, conversations I've ever had, and I've never been impaled. Like, he's eloquent.
I think there's some realization, like, this could be it, and you're just you kind of slow down, maybe.
Yeah, moment of clarity.
I've never been impaled. Yeah, I've never been impaled either, but I mean, this could be it. So this dude's just talking, man. He's just kind of.
And like, he kind of like brilliantly as well.
This might be his last conversation ever, so you might as well make it good. You don't want to be like, "Hey, Petros, yeah, drugs and stuff."
But he manages to let out like some exposition bombs as well. Do you know what I mean? Like he gives the whole like, this was the Red Death gang. They're the guys who did it. Like, I tried to jump down. Like, I don't know.
He's the good drug dealer.
Yeah. He's a lovely guy. He's kind of running a
I tried to shut down that Red Death. I can't do it all though. I'm only one man.
And then like they take him to the hospital again. He is just piled up and put in the queue with hundreds of other people, and it's just kind of like, let's go, just deal with it. And
I think there's a hospital scene where they pan over when Frank's coming in, but he's like yelling at a nurse, and there's the whole like the fence spike through him as he's yelling at the nurse, and then starts to talk to Frank for a minute.
Well, yeah.
Like it's just through his body. Yeah. It's just out there.
And then, like...
That would be me. I would just wander around with, like, a spike through my side, like, it's cool. Don't touch it. They said don't touch it. If you pull it out, other things might come, so we're just going to leave it in there. This might be the rest of my life. I might have to have this at my side forever. But I'll take it.
And then they get, like, back to the hospital, and, like, Mr. Burke is just being, like... Just constantly, like, he's dead, but they're just, like, any moment, they're just, like... shocking him back into fucking existence, and like they're like, well, the family said they want us to do it, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna shock him every time his body shuts down. And Frank talks to Mary and just kind of gives probably like the most poignant line of the whole film, where he's like, we're all dying, Mary, we're all dying. And it's like, that's what this is all about. Like, even though, like, people are, like...
I need Nic Cage as a palm reader in my life. Just say random shit to me, please.
But, like, that
I would love
it. It's like, I don't know, it's that, like, teenage, like, thing of, like, that real, like, when you're, like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, very, very, like, I've started reading, like, J.D. Salinger, like... We're all dying. We're all come to the end at some point. It's like, oh, fuck off! Like, we all.
Yeah, there is no grand afterlife. That is just
yeah.
It is what you do in this life that makes you who you are.
Yeah, definitely. Then we get like crazy Tommy, who turns out to be definitely a racist. Like, fucking shouts at a cabbie, like, gives him a lot of shit, like, calls him a raghead.
We never thought Tommy was a really level-headed guy, though.
Yeah, but I thought, like, maybe, I don't know, he just went,
Tommy was a psycho from the get-go.
Oh, yeah, but I thought, like, I hoped, I like to hope for the best in people, that maybe, like, he was just
that he might not be a fucking psychopath.
Well, no.
After the first time he met him, he was like, "If I see you again, I'm gonna kill you." Straight eye, just. I thought he might kill you if I see you again. No,
I thought he might just be a bit overzealous with like criminals that obviously like could be that criminals are misunderstood. But no, he is just out and out. Yeah, he's a fucking prick. He's just out and out arsehole.
Just a psychopath.
Yeah. Definitely. And then he makes this plan, which I don't know, is a plan that I would have come up with when I was about 10 years old to get someone.
just you go out in front and
you talk to him.
And talk to him. I'm gonna go around the side and trick him.
Well, no, he says I'll go behind him, get on all fours, and you push him over me, which is like something I used to do when I was like 10 years old.
So what's the end game? Now you're both laying on the ground together.
Well, yeah, I think he means like he's there. He could just get the pounds in. He can smash him up a bit.
Yeah, he's not caught off guard. Noel is, so that he's got the upper hand.
But then, like before this, Frank had been saying like he's kind of really off the hinge because he's like, I just want to smash some shit. Let's just go smash a window. Like, give me a reason. We'll smash a window, and that's when they come across Noel and come up with this cockamamie plan to just beat him up. Frank ends up smashing a window of a car. Noel is smashing car windows with a baseball bat, and Noel gets to slip on them, and Tommy's.
But Tom's pissed about it for whatever reason. Like, that's the ridiculous thing. You're ridiculous, Frank, for hitting windows. We should be hitting people.
Yeah. We should be beating the shit out of like poor innocent.
He thought that was so strange.
Yeah, he's a fucking loose cannon, and he's like, "You be back here in 10 minutes," and he's like, "Remember, the guy runs like a rat. Like he'll try and slip away."
Right. He's a slippery fucker. You got to keep your eyes peeled.
And then they kind of go into this like underpass, and
if people forget, we're still talking about Mark Anthony with that sweet ass wig.
Oh yeah, fucking looking fresh to death.
Well, I mean, yeah. Some people don't remember that he was that guy the whole time. He was slippery with that fucking jet black wig.
But like, it's in this bit in like the kind of underpass thing where like it looks like that Frank sees Rose's ghost in a dumpster. And then, but then, I don't know, like he sees rustling in a dumpster, and then is like, "Oh, no, I'll have a look over there." And then all of a sudden, he kind of breaks out, and Tommy is beating the living shit out of Noel with a baseball bat.
No. Nic Cage has that fucking crazy sequence where he's seeing that girl, Mary, or is it Mary?
Yeah.
And he's like, there's a brick wall. Then he finally gets there, and then it's bam! It's Tommy beating the shit out of Noel with that bat.
And then
it was super wild, man. Like he's just beating the fuck out of him.
And he's like, get him to the fucking hospital now, or I'm calling for backup, and people are gonna know that you're a fucking piece of shit. And then like they get him to the hospital. Everything like looks like it's gonna be fine. He goes to visit Mr. Burke. Who's like talking, he sees him as talking to him, and he's like, "Let me go."
And a little inner monologue, you know. I don't. It's meant to seem like he's speaking to him from the coma.
Yeah. Because like every time,
I think he's just fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's just putting into it what he wants there to be. Like he wants there to be some kind of resolution to this thing, like
some meaning,
and wants to help someone. He's kind of lost someone in like a premature death, and kind of feels like this guy maybe wants to go, like should go, like, and maybe he could.
Well, yeah, but I also feel like he's just hearing this shit and hearing what he thinks this person's in a coma.
Well, I think through this,
You know,
he's looking for some kind of redemption in some way, and maybe that being through the, like, by letting him go, and, like, it's a very tense, weird scene that follows this with, when he, like, takes off the pads. He takes off, like, the heart monitor pads and then takes out the tube and is breathing. It like, lingers on for a couple of minutes, like, where he's, like...
Yeah, he puts on the monitors and all that shit, so the, I don't know, nurse's aide, the one that's monitoring all patients, doesn't get suspicious when he's killing this dude.
Yeah, and, like...
Yeah, so he's given him the ability to die, because if he killed him right away, then they would come in and resuscitate him for like the 17th time, they said, I think, something around those lines. It was in the teens.
Yeah, and
so he had to actually make sure homie was dead.
Yeah, and
before they came in.
He lets him go, and then like says, "Don't worry, I'll tell the family." And as he walks out of the hospital, there's just a brilliant scene of Tommy smashing up an ambulance in the background. No explanation for it. He's just smashing the shit out of the ambulance.
Oh, Tommy?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. He's just walking by and Tommy's out there just beating the shit out of him. He's like, fuck you. He was like yelling at it, being crazy.
That's what I mean. There's no explanation.
But that fit
for
his character. No, it fit him being a fucking psycho.
And then he goes to the Burke family to tell them the news. And, he goes to Mary. And then at the door has a vision of Rose on Mary's face and asks for forgiveness. And Mary says to him, "Don't worry, it's not your fault." And I felt that this was him getting the, like, redemption he wanted. Because obviously...
Yeah, but it was fake.
Yeah, definitely. But, like, in his mind, that's what it took for him to be level.
And that's why he went inside to take a little nap.
Yeah,
it got really bright light right on his face. Like, I thought he was dying.
No, he got a little...
In that point.
Little nap on her bosom. He was like a child again.
Thank you, Petros. Right out of our little buzz hub, just a little nappy time. Just
lovely.
You know,
yeah. Like
it was very sweet at the end. It was fucking confusing. I feel like he was wrong. I feel like he made up both that shit, all that shit, and he killed that dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's and that is where the film ends, and it is very like I was like, when it got to that moment, it's like, is that it? Like, and then I feel
like his little like self-finding was just him deciding to kill somebody with Burke. It was all in his head. It wasn't anything more than that. Like, Burke's like, don't let them do this. Yeah. It was his struggle with a person that's in a coma. And I agree, it's a horrible scenario to be in. Sometimes you just gotta go with it, let him go. But I feel like it was forced.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he looked for a way to kind of make redemption for himself.
Yeah,
whether that be
calm his nerves or whatever it is, but he looked for a way out of it, and that was it. Was just him listening to fake murmurings of somebody in the coma.
Yeah, 100%. Well, like, we obviously, like, what is your opinion on this film? Did you enjoy this film, Phil?
I thought it was shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the time I was done, it was too long, number one. But I felt like I was never really there. They never led me up to anything. And maybe I'm too babied in the movies where I need like 1.5 hour of the episode to be like, this is my life, and this is what I do. And then it jumps into that. But I just feel like it was long, and they jumped me into a situation I didn't know what was going on.
Well, yeah, I think with me, as I said, it was more of like, it was just all about tone and atmosphere and stuff like that, but it was very like conflicting in the tone and atmosphere that it gave you, in that like it kind of contradicted itself. In like 1 minute it was dark, the next minute it was light.
It didn't know what it didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah, it seemed like an experiment in like, what can we do? And that's what I mean. It was like, it kind of felt like,
which are we so cool now that we're just fucking dogging Scorsese?
no, I don't mean that. I just like, I reckon.
But I never thought in my life I would ever be like, he was confused. He wasn't sure what he wanted.
I reckon
He should call me next movie. Call Phil. I'll tell you.
my guess is, like, from the string of successes he had, and like almost like you can argue, obviously, like Goodfellas, Casino, they are like great movies.
They're fucking solid
movies, but they are very much of a type and like almost a niche that he has created for himself. I feel like this is Martin Scorsese trying to do something different.
He pulled from great source material though in those movies.
But obviously this film he's trying to pay like an old favour to Paul Schrader, who wrote the script for Taxi Driver. So obviously something like a winning formula they've had before.
Like Taxi Driver, but I feel like this is not even connected to that in the same manner, because Taxi Driver was a great movie. I rewatched it, and it has like 3 sections that really define the movie. This movie starts you off in the third and never gets past it.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I think like it's just both of them trying to do something, like trying to be very cutting edge. Like, you think like it's 1999, they're trying to be very like cool, and like the internet's big, like, do you know what I mean? Like they're trying to keep up.
They never brought up the internet.
I know that, but like,
but I get it. But if they're trying to be cool, they should at least brought up that.
Yeah. But like, they're trying to be cutting edge, like, and it's like, you know what? You made a name for yourself in classic, like, new Hollywood cinema with great classic films. You don't need to try and mess around.
Have you seen a classic film in the mid-2000s that was not up to date of new age, but was a classic style that was still good? I'm sure I have. They don't need to. Scorsese doesn't need to try to dabble with internets and new age shit. He just play what you know,
exactly,
bro.
Exactly.
You got it.
Yeah. Like you don't need to kind of try the art house way of doing it. Just like Scorsese has a.
Well, I give him some slack because it took him until like 4 or 5 years ago to get a fucking Academy Award. So he was searching for that albatross.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like The Departed is a great film, but is not.
God, I love The Departed.
Is not his Oscar-winning movie in my eyes. I feel like
he got stuck with a few years where he was gambling against other really great movies.
Yeah.
And then there was years in between where way lesser films won.
Well, yeah, I think it was a case of like, I guess we've got to give it to Scorsese. We've fucked up so many times before and not given it to him. Let's do it now.
He's gonna quit if we don't give him one
definitely.
now.
Well, obviously, you now know our opinions of this movie. How do you think, Phil, this film rates on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and the third thingy we will have is Roger Ebert this week? But
Roger Ebert. Okay.
So IMDb, what do you reckon?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
My guess is IMDb. I would say a 5.7.
6.8.
And Rotten Tomatoes, well, after that little 6.8, I'd say 61%.
71%.
Okay. We're doing good. Roger Ebert, I say 3.
4 out of 4.
Come on.
Yeah. Roger Ebert, 4 out of 4.
In my defense, if I watched it in '99, I might have been blown away.
Yeah, I guess 4.
You know, I mean, you always gotta take it in time, because I have a lot of movies on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes that I've rated very highly, but there were movies I watched when I was 13, 14 that I absolutely love, like fucking Running Man and Commando and Arnold movies and shit like that. You know, I love those movies, so they are fucking 4s at best, but I think they're 8s.
Yeah, I get you,
so
man.
I get it. So if I rated it as I saw it, which Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around when this came out, so a lot of that shit bothers me. Roger Ebert old take. IMDb is a lot of nostalgia too.
Yeah, definitely.
And when did IMDb come out? Like mid-2000s?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. It wasn't around in '99. That is it for what the internet says. Obviously,
that's not horrible though. I mean, in the world of movies, that's a C+, B- average.
Oh well,
at least
where's Scorsese? He's gonna get some like apologists anyway. He's gonna get people who are just gonna like say it's great, and like even if they don't get it, they're gonna go, "Oh, it's great. I didn't get it. That's because I'm stupid."
It was a great director trying something different. Don't blame him for the
exactly. Right. Well, you now know what a couple of idiots think about this film. You now know what the internet says about this film. I guess that is it. So, Phil, where can people find you or those movie guys? Like, yeah, when do you guys release episodes?
We record Tuesday night and drop a late Tuesday night. So if you're a late person, it's always around. But Wednesday mornings, it's up. ThoseMovieGuysPodcast.com. Those Movie Guys Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter. It's TMG_podcast. And yeah, we're all over the fucking place, dude.
Nice.
We do it all.
It's been a pleasure having you on this episode.
Petros is the best, man. We love you. Those Movie Guys love you, dude. We shout you out as much as we can. You gave us a great intro, which I cannot beyond thank you for, because we have not got nothing but good things about that intro.
No worries, man.
I don't know what you were thinking or what you were doing. Were you a little boozed up one night and decided just to mix it up, or what?
I don't know.
Because people are wondering, like, how you just did it, because it's great.
Well, I just thought, I thought your intro just didn't, I just thought something that, you needed something that really, captured what the show was about. And,
Well, our intro is Joe Merle of our podcast. It is his brother's band, the Gasoline Gypsies.
Nice, but do you know
so
what I mean?
we've always had that, but it never set the tone of what you're listening to. It was just a song.
Yeah. I just thought, what would, if it was a new listener and, attention spans are getting shorter and shorter.
Where am I at right now? What did I even download? And it's like you hear a little bluegrass playing, a little strumming.
Yeah.
So I totally get it, but yeah, man, that is so awesome, dude. You did us a solid.
No worries. It was,
and I even say it. I say it now more than I ever did. It's like I'm watching movies.
That's I took that all from one episode, and I was just like, I'm gonna fucking do it. It's just
because we're idiots. Because we're fucking idiots. We talk about movies. If you guys listen to Petros and don't know our show, we just watch movies and TV, and really we don't know anything about most things, but we talk a lot about all of it.
Amazing. Well, I've been Petros Patsilivus.
I am Phil.
We've been Caged In. You've been Rad. Bye.
Petros.
Hey guys, if you've managed to get to the end and not just skipped it or just thought, fuck this guy chats a load of shit, It's a little bonus thing for you. If you go over to Those Movie Guys, when they drop their newest episode, I'll be on it. I'll be talking movies with those guys, what I've watched, what I enjoyed, talking just a regular version of their episode, but it's going to be me. So it's going to be Those Caged In Movie Guys crossover, just chatting shit about movies and that. Bye.